Hi everyone, I'm Krista Seiden, Analytics Advocate at Google, and today I'm joined by Breen Baker, who is a Product Manager here at Google on Google Analytics 360. In this quick tip video, Breen is going to talk about data freshness in Google Analytics and how to look at that data in many different ways.
Yeah, thanks Krista. So obviously data freshness is a really important topic. We hear about this all the time. Publishers are super interested in data freshness, but it goes beyond other verticals. We hear a lot about it from e-commerce and entertainment as well. But really everybody is interested in data freshness because there's a well-known business axiom that if you have data that your competitors don't have, or if you can have that data faster than your competitors can have it, then that's a competitive advantage. And I don't think I have to prove that to anyone.
Nope.
But there are various data access points in GA and various freshnesses within those. And we get a lot of questions, people asking us when to use this, when to use that. So we just thought we'd go through it on a high level and give you guys an overview. So let's jump over to the slide. Here I've just shown kind of really at a high level, very high level, the four major access points that we have with GA. We do have other exports. We have integrations to our ad services, and we have file exports, just flat file exports. I'm excluding those from this discussion for now. So really we have a real-time UI and API. We have our standard reporting UI and API. We have our unsampled reports, which does have a UI and API component as well, and BigQuery. So real-time reports are our freshest data source. The latency is seconds. If you load those reports, you will actually see them refreshing, and you'll see the data flowing in. That actually only has a history of 30 minutes, though. So the use is very valuable in terms of knowing when I launch something or when I'm expecting something to happen, did I see a spike in behavior? Did I see a spike in maybe traffic coming from a certain region? And that's very powerful, but it's limited, right? It's a really fast stream, and we can't give you everything, custom through that, right? So it's limited in what it can be used for. The reporting API, however, it contains that full flexibility, and it really should be used for doing that more deep diagnosis if you do notice something in real-time API or just from back-end statistics. This is where you can really dive in to figure out what exactly is happening. Maybe there's a JavaScript area on some page, or maybe there's some region where the campaign code wasn't firing correctly. That's really the place, reporting API and UI is really the place where you're going to go solve that. The latency there is hours. As you guys know, we have an SLA for 4 hours. It's usually much better than that, at least half, about 2 hours. And there you have the full history of all of GA. Unsampled reports really is just a flavor of that for super large queries. Yes, it is the case that if I'm interested in new information, I might also want to be pulling a lot of historical information at the same time to understand trends and be able to predict if what's happening today aligns with what I expect to happen. In those cases, we'll want to use the unsampled reporting API or UI. And like I said, in those cases, the latency is the same and the history is the same. BigQuery kind of sits off on the side in that it doesn't have a standard UI via GA. But our current integration today does export data multiple times per day, about 4 times per day. So data gets to your system about 6 hours latency. The history really is since when you integrated it with GA. But given that BigQuery has its own data storage and processing requirements, that's really unlimited. You can store any amount of data you want in there for all of time. The use there is even to get more detailed, more involved into potentially how your user models might change because of the data that came in the last few hours. Mm-hmm. And really BigQuery is going to be a place where you can do not only what you can do in GA, but you can add more data sets, you can add more complex statistical analysis and do more than what will be available in GA. So that's it from a high level. Again, to recap, if you're really focused on what's happening right now, like you're launching something right now, you need to check on it, go to the real-time UI. If you need to diagnose what might have happened in the last hour or 2 hours or so, reporting UI is your place for that. If you need a really big query, the unsampled reporting API is a great place for that. And lastly, if you want to do something complex and GA just really isn't fitting what you want to do, BigQuery is your place for that.
Great. Thanks for telling us about those 4 different access points to get your data freshness in Analytics 360. And thanks you guys for listening.